I know I said I wasn't going to talk about the incident again after the video that I did on Jada, but this isn't really so much me talking about the incident, but it's really something I've noticed, especially on the heels of this recent incident, I guess you can say, involving Ezra Miller. And I wish this was something I was able to point out when I did my live stream this past Friday on the 22nd on my Reign in Real Time channel, when Ezra Miller was the first thing that I talked about. But I'll talk about it right here. Something I've been seeing on social media is actually one tweet in particular that I saw from a thread in which someone was pointing out the racial element when it came to how the media is dealing with Ezra Miller versus how the media is dealing or was dealing with Will Smith. And we all know the outcome when it came to Will Smith is no really need to rehash any of that. But Ezra Miller, especially with this recent thing, should be the main focal point. But they're going to try to sweep this under the rug. Now, in case y'all did not know, Ezra Miller was in the most recent Fantastic Beasts movie that just came out on April 15th, which is the third installment of the Fantastic Beasts franchise, of course, which you know is a spinoff of the Harry Potter series. Now, to take a little detour, we all know that Johnny Depp is and his ex-wife Amber Turd Heard is currently in court right now because of everything going on in that very toxic, tumultuous marriage. And she too is a part of the DC Entertainment Universe as playing Mira on Aquaman, which I told people I will not be seeing the second one because she's in it. And I meant just that. But the reason why I bring that up is because Johnny Depp played the character of Grindelwald in the Fantastic Beasts movie, the second one that came out, in which he was set to reprise his role in the third one, but he ended up being replaced by Mads Mikkelsen, who was in the Doctor Strange movie, the first one, because of what happened with him and Amber Heard. And pretty much he lost, like, his reputation got tarnished. Now we're talking about Johnny Depp here, a man whose decade spans almost 4 decades. Like, he's been acting since the early 80s and has pretty much had a consistent career up until this point right here, where it's literally hit a stall. All because of some lies that she told and some other things, but I'm not going to dive deep into that. Many of you are probably aware of some of the situations, and some of you may not. Some of you may not care. It is what it is. I can't convince you otherwise. But Ezra Miller, this is not his first time at the rodeo when it comes to his behavior. Remember, he choked out a fan on camera, a female fan. Then you had what recently happened in Hawaii last month at the end of March, after the incident with Will Smith and Chris Rock at the Oscars, might I add. Then less than a month later, you have the most recent incident again in Hawaii, where he threw a woman threw a chair at this woman's head, causing her to get a 1/2 inch split in her head. This dude has a serious history of assaulting women, because when he did the attack in Hawaii, one of the first people he attacked was a woman singing karaoke. And then, of course, he went and broke into the hostel of that couple. And, of course, the couple was a man and a woman, so another woman, again, was involved. He has a serious issue with doing that, and they continue to let him skate on by, and WB seemingly does not do anything about it. And speaking of WB, the Fantastic Beasts movie is a WB property. It's a Warner Brothers property, just like the Justice League and just like the Flash. So I don't know what it is. They got something going on over there, but you know, they merged. You know, Discovery, did that merge with WB. So Discovery now owns Warner Brothers. And I kept telling people, I think that the Flash movie is getting delayed so many times because he is a hindrance of the progress of that movie. Now, to get to my main point is, I've seen people online say, well, Ezra Miller, he's not a well-known actor like Will Smith is. So when Will Smith did it, it held more weight, and that's why they're coming down on him harder. I said that's no excuse. It doesn't matter who's the more well-known actor or not, because what he did, in my opinion, was way worse. And he has a repeated history of doing this. This is not a one-off thing. You don't see Will Smith going up and slapping people every single day or any chance you get. Ezra Miller, on the other hand, has a history of putting his hands on people, especially women. And the crazy part about it is you have a lot of people that love to talk about toxic masculinity and all types of stuff like that. That's why I had to come for Silly Porter in my live stream, because he wanted to come for Will Smith talking about toxic masculinity. I'm like, well, what do you think about what he did? This guy has been known to put his hands on women multiple times and even threw a chair at one of them. Where's your toxic masculinity on that? But see, Silly Porter, he leads with his sexuality first at all times. That man always leads with him and his, and his fairy ways at all times, every time. That man would never, ever, ever be B1. Let's just be clear about that. And look at who he's laid up with. That man actually referred to himself as a queen, not a king, but a queen, and proudly did so as well. At this point, he might as well go ahead and transition. He probably wants to, but anyway. But he ain't gonna say nothing about that, because that would be to go against, the Hollywood elite. Let me tell you, Ezra Miller has the trinity on his side. He's PC, he's in the academy, and he's Jewish. He has the trinity on his side. I guess you can stay next to PC / he's also, I would say, a male, but he identifies as non-binary, so he doesn't identify by a quote-unquote gender. So there it is right there. But you have people say, well, Ezra Miller, he's not as well known as Will Smith, so people aren't really going to hear about it. And people saying, well, I didn't know who Ezra Miller was until this incident right here, but I knew about Will Smith for years. And basically they're giving Ezra Miller an out. They're giving him an out. They're giving him a leeway to kind of skate on by. And that's exactly why he keeps getting away with the stuff that he does over and over and over again. But I want to point something out to y'all right quick. If y'all don't know who this is Ray Fisher. Ray Fisher pretty much became more well known when he got cast as Cyborg in the Justice League movie, of course, also starring Ezra Miller as Flash. You had Ben Affleck as Batman, you had Henry Cavill as Superman, and Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, pretty much rounding out that lineup. Now, out of all the people that I mentioned, I think Ray Fisher was probably low on the totem pole as probably as far as actors go who people didn't really know about. But of course he stood out because he was the only black actor in the cast. As we all know, Cyborg is a black character. Now, when he spoke out about the issues he's had with Joss Whedon and all types of stuff like that, he literally got blackballed instantly. Now, where were all the people that was saying, oh, Ezra Miller is not as well known as Will Smith, so, that's why, he's not going to quote unquote get canceled and everything? Where was the support for Ray Fisher? Because Ray Fisher is not a well-known actor himself. If anything, he's not even as more known as Ezra Miller. But see, the thing is, Ezra Miller is starting to get more known for his out of character. And when I say out of character, I'm talking about out of Flash character antics than he is for the role of Flash itself. People are starting to compare him to the reverse Flash. If you know who the reverse Flash is, he's basically the bad version of the regular Flash. There's, plainly put. But where was the defense for Ray Fisher? Nowhere to be found. That's why I said they are a bunch of hypocrites. They're doing it because they're trying to protect Ezra Miller. But like I've said, he's Teflon Don. He already has protection. He's going to be protected. I even, heard when they said he got a $500 bond. He only had to pay $30. $500 for someone who's probably made millions of dollars playing a character for the span of 4 or 5 years. Well, yeah. One time in Justice League, then, he appeared, I think in the Flash on the show on the CW. Now he's supposed to have his own movie, which I think is probably going to be in the can, because honestly, his reputation is tarnished. It is tarnished because of what he has done over the last month or so. Remember, they tried to hide behind, the whole thing with the choking of the fan from the first time. But now they're hiding, trying to hide behind this as well. There's no hiding behind this. He did what he did, and you're constantly allowing him to skate, or as I like to call it, be a professional skater. Just like when I call Mayan Ponsetto the professional ice skater, he is a professional ice skater too. A professional figure skater. So it's the double standards for me. It's the hypocrisy for me. What you should do for one, the same should be done for the other. And the thing is, Ray Fisher, all he did was call out what they were doing over there. He didn't get violent or anything like that. And now you barely see him in any roles. And the thing is, Cyborg was supposed to be his breakout role. That this was supposed to open up the door for him to get many more roles in Hollywood. But as you can see, if nothing really shapes up for him, Cyborg will probably be his biggest role. I won't say it won't be his only role, but it'll probably be the only role that he's known for in his career, depending on how far his career actually goes, unless someone takes a chance on him. Maybe he needs to call Tyler Perry, because, you know, Tyler Perry be out here saving actors, whether they from back in the day and they need work, or they're up and coming and they want to be pushed out there, or people who are kind of out there but still need that push. He falls into that category. Maybe he needs to get in contact with Tyler Perry. If he can help Jeffrey Owens, you know, Elvin from the Cosby Show, get a push to the point where now you see him on Power, you know, with 50 Cent over his stars, I'm sure he can work something out for Ray Fisher. Like find him something down there at Tyler Perry Studios and see if they can make it work. You know, you may not be a big fan of Tyler Perry, but you got to admit the guy knows how to get people some work. Black people for some work, whether you approve of it or not. But yeah, it's just like, it's just a double standard for me. Like I said, y'all want to say all this stuff about Ezra Miller saying he's not as well known. He's not as well known either. He didn't get any kind of treatment like Ezra Miller is getting. Gee, I wonder why. Let me see. Maybe it's because Ray Fisher is a black heterosexual man who's not Jewish. I think that might be it. Or maybe it's because he had the nerve to call out Joss Whedon and then had some support from his cast. I don't know if Ezra Miller was one of the people that was part of that support system, but I do know that I think Gal Gadot and I think Jason Momoa, I forgot about Jason Momoa when I was mentioning the cast for the Justice League, who also has a pretty lengthy career, but it's like his roles were kind of touch and go until Aquaman came about, and then that's what really now people really see him as. But he's been acting for, I remember seeing Jason Momoa and stuff back in the 90s when he was a teenager. So yeah, I just wanted to come on here and, you know, bring this to light. It's just blatant hypocrisy for me, and that's my take on it.